Hi, I'm Janessa Couture, and welcome to Get Coach, a Destroy the Hairdresser podcast. Welcome back to Get Coached, where we're talking about real things that we face as salon owners and stylists and the solutions that we have for them. I'm even giving you some homework, so stay tuned for that. I hope your homework from last week was great. Last week we dealt with people pleasing. Today we're going to deal with my favorite pastime when I am overwhelmed, and that is called doom scrolling. The doom scroll is a regular, just overwhelm for me. I will just do nothing productive, consistently scroll. I know that I'm not the only one that does this. Specifically when I am overwhelmed. I don't have the ability to pull apart conscious actions sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed with just everything, when I haven't been properly boundaried, when I have been people pleasing, right? Because although I'm a coach, I'm talking to you about these things, and I talk to my students about these things, I'm still a human. I still experience them all. I mean, I think we all will. There's no forever cure. There's just awarenesses, right? We're just making ourselves aware of these moments. And so when I'm not aware, when I'm not conscious and I am overwhelmed, the doom scroll is my favorite pastime forever. I will forever just open up whatever social media app, likely TikTok, and just scroll and end up in very weird places on TikTok because that algorithm is far too responsive. And so all of a sudden I'm watching, this is no lie, I'm watching either rug cleaning videos or somebody cleaning out horseshoes and reshoeing horses. I don't know how I found that TikTok, but I did. And so there we are. That's my doom scroll. The problem with doom scrolling is that it is breeding sometimes, especially if you're doom scrolling and what you're doing is doom scrolling in our industry and you're doom scrolling with hair. Doom scrolling will put you in a position where you are consistently comparing yourself with other people. It puts you in a state of freeze on a regular basis. It also brings up feelings of shame, guilt. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. When you see people creating content that's great, eye-catching and grabby, when you see people creating education, when you see people, succeeding, we see people, and sometimes what we see on social media isn't always accurate in real life. That's the truth. But we see this glossy version of it, and it gives us this feeling of comparison. It gives us this feeling of, we just get in our own brains. It's one of the things I do probably the most frequently on a regular basis. And I will go into a state of paralysis, totally. I will have a harder time marketing myself. I will have a harder time showing up. I will be consistently, my brain will consistently tell me that I'm not in any way good enough. Doom scrolling for me leads to imposter syndrome, absolutely, massively. And it's normal for that to happen. I know a lot of my students deal with that as well, where you end up just sort of in this again, paralysis. You end up in the state of freeze. So how do we break out of it? What do we do? Like, what's the action to return consciousness to that sometimes pastime that, doom scrolling is also something that you can do and put consciousness to it and have it be effective, right? So one of the things I do when I find myself doom scrolling is that I force myself to engage externally. I don't want to just doom scroll. I want to use this. If I'm going to be on it, I have to force myself to use it for a reason, right? So I'm going to go onto Instagram. If I find myself just flipping right through, I'm like, I have to now find some accounts that I'm going to engage with. I'm going to use this app to be social. I'm going to maybe meet somebody, right? I'm going to compliment someone's work. I'm going to find a stylist in my area that maybe I would look to recruit. I am going to, acknowledge that this education is really great. And thank you so much for putting it into my feed. I'm going to do something that snaps me out of the doom scroll, puts a positive action to it, and then moves me in a different direction. What we want to do is remind ourselves that it's okay to put limits on your screen time. It is okay to use focus filters as much as you possibly can. The doom scroll doesn't even the doom scroll doesn't even have to be just a social media app. The doom scroll can be some of those games, like an app game that you're just like playing for no reason. If you're just mindlessly using your device or doing something, it's not giving your brain a rest. You're not actually taking a break. There's no downtime in that whatsoever. You're consuming so much, whether it is, I don't know, one of those dumb Candy Crush games or whatever those are, or scrolling through an app. You are constantly having your brain process, which is not going to give you time. So I highly suggest, one of the things that I love to do is I have like a fidget. I'll have something in my hand. I have Rubik's Cube. I'll have something that I can replace so I can put my phone down and put something else in my hand. Because a lot of times, especially if you are anything like me and have ADHD, you need something that's going to just keep your brain going in some way. You need an action. A fidget is a great way to replace that. So having something instead of the doom scroll is going to be able to give you a time to actually shut down. Doom scrolling and not having your brain have that pause, not being able to shut your brain, can lead to anxiety, can lead to depression. You're not resting properly. You're likely, especially if you're doing it at nighttime, likely not getting sleep effectively. There are so many physiological side effects to that are enough to make any of us want to just shut our phones down on a regular basis. We're far too connected anymore. And so knowing that, what we want to do is try and put as much conscious action to scrolling as we possibly can. Like I said, engaging externally, finding stylists in your area and messaging them. I like to put specific people that I want to constantly keep up with, if that's the case, in my favorites on Instagram. I'm using it just to do that action, and then I'm going to put it away. I personally, one of my favorite buttons on Instagram is the block button or the restrict button, because if I am seeing something that's making me feel negative, that's drawing me in, there's so much of that out in the world. I won't block them because I don't want them to see me. I'll block them because I don't want to see them, right? Creating limits to what you're exposed to is completely okay. I highly suggest that you curate your feed, you curate the people that you follow, and use it intentionally to get away from all of that, to get away from the comparison, to get away from the depression, to get away from the anxiety, and to start giving yourself room to be able to move forward. So here's this week's homework. I want you to try your hardest to set actual limits on your screen time and your social media use every day this week. You can go into your phone, you can set filters, you can set timers, you can do however you want to do, but I want you to start being conscious of how much time you spend just scrolling or mindlessly using your phone, especially at nighttime. The second thing is I want you to, at night, for sure, shut it down at a certain point in time and just do something offline. A little bit, maybe 15 to 20 minutes before you go to bed. And make note of whether you feel more rested and relaxed in the morning. Something as simple as this. We talked about burnout, we talked about people pleasing. We're going to talk about so many other things, but having proper rest and sleep is one of the most important things to being able to be conscious while you're moving forward. So, again, I would love to hear how this homework goes. I hope it was fun last week. I hope you had a good time with it. I hope it helped in some way. But if you are loving this homework, I would love to hear about it. You can comment on the episode. You can comment on my Instagram. You can send me a DM, however you would like to message us. Either me on my personal, you can message the Destroy the Hairdresser account. We'd love to find out how this is helping and how it's going. So enjoy your downtime this week and unplug a little. And I'll see you next week.
Hey hairdressers, are you looking for health insurance? It's time to get healthy with Hairdresser Healthcare, the only coverage designed specifically for the beauty industry. Whether you're an independent stylist, a salon owner with a team, a makeup artist, or a massage therapist, we've got you covered with comprehensive and affordable benefits. With options for self-enrollment and year-round open enrollment, taking control of your health has never been easier. And the best part is, it's available in every state. Visit hairdresserhealthcare.com and take control of your health today because you, your team, and your family deserve it.